Hey, how it's going guys, you are watching FreeCloud Gaming YouTube channel. In today's video I will show you top 5 games that can run on a PC having 8GB RAM and any 4GB VRAM graphics card. But keep that in mind that all the above 5 games in this list are not ranked. Which means that the number of the game will not define the quality of the game. So now let's get started, but before the intro.
Let's roll.
3, 2, 1.
On number 5 spot we have Sniper Elite 3. Sniper Elite 3 is a third-person tactical shooter stealth video game developed and published by Rebellion Developments. The game is a prequel to its 2012 predecessor Sniper Elite 2, and is the third installment in the Sniper Elite series. In the game, players go through large battlefield maps based on the North African conflict. The sniper rifle is the player's primary weapon, though additional weapons, including submachine guns and pistols, silenced or not depending on the situation, are available. In addition to hand grenades, the player can deploy tripwire booby traps, landmines and dynamite. Binoculars can be used to tag enemies, displaying their position and movements. The player character must hold their breath to properly line up the shot. A red icon appears in the scope, marking the projected point of impact. There are weapon parts spread out all over the game, found when looting dead enemies, allowing players to customize their weapons in the pre-deployment menu. The menu also allows equipment loadouts. So definitely worth a try. On number 4 spot we have Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity is an action-adventure video game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft. It was released in November 2014 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The plot is set in a fictional history of real-world events and follows the centuries-old struggle between the assassins, who fight for peace with free will, and the Templars, who desire peace through control. The story is set in Paris during the French Revolution. The single-player story follows Arnaud Victor Dorian and his efforts to expose the true powers behind the revolution. The game retains the series' third-person open-world exploration as well as introducing a revamped combat, parkour and stealth system. The game also introduces cooperative multiplayer to the Assassin's Creed series, letting up to 4 players engage in narrative-driven missions and explore the open-world map. Assassin's Creed Unity is an action-adventure stealth game set in an open-world environment. In addition to returning weapons from previous games, Assassin's Creed Unity introduces the Phantom Blade. The Phantom Blade uses the mechanics of a crossbow to fire a silent projectile at a great distance, while still serving the same role as the Hidden Blade in previous Assassin's Creed games. Additionally, Arnaud learns new moves throughout the game, but the player can also purchase new skills as well. With the updated, larger crowds, new interactions with them are also available. The crowd regularly presents many activities, appearing organically, that the player can then choose to engage in at their leisure. Examples include scaring a group of bullies by pulling out a weapon, settling a disagreement between 2 civilians by killing one of them, which is usually a Templar, or chasing down a thief who has just pickpocketed somebody. Completing a set of these crowd events gives you either a monetary reward or a piece of armor. So definitely worth a try. On number 3 spot we have Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 is a 2018 first-person shooter game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Toronto and published by Ubisoft. The game takes place in Hope County, a fictional region of Montana, United States. The main story revolves around a project at Eden's Gate, a doomsday cult that has taken over the county at the command of its charismatic and powerful leader, Joseph Seed. Players control an unnamed junior deputy sheriff who becomes trapped in Hope County and must work alongside factions of the resistance to liberate the county from the despotic rule of the Seeds and Eden's Gate. Gameplay focuses on combat and exploration. Players battle enemy soldiers and dangerous wildlife using a wide array of weapons. The game features many elements found in role-playing games, such as a branching storyline and side quests. Far Cry 5 is an action-adventure first-person shooter set in an open-world environment which the player can explore freely on foot or via various vehicles. Unlike previous titles in the series where the player takes on the role of a set character, the game gives the player the opportunity to customize their character's appearance. While the player has a variety of ranged and explosive weapons to fight against enemies, the game places a renewed emphasis on close-quarters combat compared to previous Far Cry titles by introducing a wider range of melee weapons. In addition, Far Cry 5 features a new weapons ballistics system that includes elements like a bullet dropping over a distance to make it more realistic. So definitely worth a try. On number 2 spot we have Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 is a first-person shooter video game developed by EA DICE and published by Electronic Arts. It was released worldwide for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on November 20, 2018. Battlefield 5 is focused extensively on party-based features and mechanics, scarcity of resources, and removing abstractions from game mechanics to increase realism. There is an expanded focus on player customization through the new company system, where players can create multiple characters with cosmetic and weapon options. Cosmetic items, and currency used to purchase others, are earned by completing in-game objectives. The game features several new multiplayer modes, including the continuous campaign mode Firestorm, and Grand Operations. The Grand Operations mode is an expansion of the Operations mode introduced in Battlefield 1, which focuses on matches taking place across multiple stages to simulate a campaign from the war. In Grand Operations, each round will have specific objectives, and performance in each stage will influence the next. If the final day ends with a close margin of victory, the match will culminate with the final stand, with players fighting to the last man standing on a continually shrinking map. The game features a collection of single-player war stories based on aspects of World War II, with voice-overs in each war story's native language. The game also features a cooperative mode not seen since Battlefield 3 called Combined Arms, where up to 4 players can undertake missions together, and features dynamic missions and objectives so missions cannot be played the same way each time. So definitely worth a try if you love first-person shooter games. On number 1 spot we have Red Dead Redemption 2. This game is personally played by me and it is the best game I have played in my life. The game's story is totally awesome, however, this is not a game. It's an alternative life. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 2018 action-adventure game developed and published by Rockstar Games. The game is the third entry in the Red Dead series and is a prequel to the 2010 game Red Dead Redemption. The game is presented through both first and third-person perspectives, and the player may freely roam in its interactive open world. Gameplay elements include shootouts, heists, hunting, horseback riding, interacting with non-player characters, and maintaining the character's honor rating through moral choices and deeds. A bounty system similar to the Wanted system from the Grand Theft Auto franchise governs the response of law enforcement and bounty hunters to crimes committed by the player. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a Western-themed action-adventure game. Played from a first or third-person perspective, the game is set in an open-world environment featuring a fictionalized version of the Western, Midwestern, and Southern United States in 1899, during the latter half of the Wild West era and the turn of the 20th century. The game features both single-player and online multiplayer components, the latter released under Red Dead Online. For most of the game, the player controls outlaw Arthur Morgan, a member of the Van der Linde gang, as he completes numerous missions, linear scenarios with set objectives, to progress through the story. From the game's epilogue, the player controls John Marston, the playable protagonist of the game's predecessor, Red Dead Redemption. Outside of missions, the player may freely roam the game's interactive world. The player may engage in combat with enemies using melee attacks, firearms, throwables, or explosives. Combat has been refined from the game's predecessor, and notable new mechanics consist of dual wielding and the ability to use a bow. The player is granted the ability to swim as Arthur, but not as John, a reference to the previous game, where swimming led to instant death. So definitely worth more than just a try. So that's all for today's video, guys. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up to show how much you like the video in numbers. And guys, meet you in the next video. Till then, stay home and stay safe, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Bye.